Brother lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to brand new video. In this part of the podcast, we're going to be discussing Declan Rice. According to Kaya Kainak, he's excited by his move to Arsenal in the summer and very much excited about playing in the UEFA Champions League next season as well. We'll be talking about that. But what is very interesting as well is that Mikel Arteta is planning on playing Emile Smith Rowe long term in Granit Xhaka's position. He wants Emile Smith Rowe to be the new replacement of Granit Xhaka come next season. We'll be diving into that as well. What is Emile Smith Rowe's best position in this Arsenal team? Can he play over Gabriel Martinelli? Can he overtake Martinelli and Trossard on that left wing, or should he actually be competing with the likes of Granit Xhaka and Fabio Vieira in midfield? We'll be talking about that. And of course, Newcastle are interested in Florian Balogun. They are ready to make a bid come this summer. They're one of the clubs actually that are interested in Florian Balogun, but there's so many other clubs interested in the England international as well. And finally, the rest for Mac Allister is on. Manchester City are discussing internally to sign Mac Allister from Brighton. Arsenal have also held internal discussions. So have Manchester United to sign Mac Allister, the World Cup winner from Brighton as well. So hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast. Let's get this video to 300 likes. I want to ask you a question here, about Emile Smith Rowe. I've always talked about him as one of those very talented English players, or one of those players that I feel if Arsenal can get him back to form, if Arsenal can get him back to his levels, he's actually wonderful. Scores a lot of goals from midfield, creates a lot of chances, is a good dribbler. So what is his best position for Arsenal or at Arsenal right about now? Is he better off on the left-hand side with Trossard and Martinelli as competitors? Or would you actually save him the competition and play him where Xhaka plays? Because there you don't have a lot of competition. And even come this summer, according to what I'm hearing, Moises Caicedo is not heading to Arsenal, and Arsenal might not sign a defensive midfielder. So if we sign Rice, he comes in as a replacement for Thomas Partey. Literally, it means that Arsenal have got themselves a space for Emile Smith Rowe to operate. I want your thoughts. I want your opinions as well. Right, so let's dive into it. First and foremost, let's talk about Declan Rice on the podcast. It has been Kaya Kainak in the last few hours who has actually put out this story, and he says, from what I am hearing, Declan Rice is happy with the interest, with that interest from Arsenal. He's quite excited about the prospect of him moving to Arsenal, and he's also very excited about the prospect of him playing in the UEFA Champions League next campaign, which is something he has always talked about. Source Kaya Kainak at Give Me Sport as well. So, look, we've already talked about Declan Rice. I think on the channel, we've talked about him in the last 3 weeks on almost every single show, every single transfer show we do on the podcast. We talk about Declan Rice, okay? The positive out of this one is the excitement, right? Because Mikel is a guy who wants to sign players that want to play for him. Mikel is a guy who wants to sign players that have that kind of connection with Arsenal, with the project, and with the team as well. So Decas is a big player. We know that. Like, maybe not world class, like I always say, but he's a good player. He's a quality player. Chelsea want him. I think he walks into the Chelsea team. He walks into the Manchester United team. He walks into the Manchester City team. He walks into the Liverpool team right now. So definitely, I would say, apart from Arsenal right now, that have Thomas Partey, who I feel has been massively better than Declan Rice this season, Decas would actually walk into every Premier League side right about now. Listen, he's had more ball recoveries this season than any other outfield player in the Premier League. Put some respect on that. So Mikel says, I want players to play for me when they're 100% committed. I want players to play for me when they understand that this is a project that's going to take some time. We are not going to pump in millions and millions and millions, but at the end of the day, we are winners, and we want to win, and we want to take Arsenal back to the levels they deserve. For a player like Declan Rice to be wanted, like, he's one of the hottest prospects, hottest properties on the market. Liverpool need a midfielder there. They could sign Jude Bellingham, but they also need a midfielder, another one. Chelsea need one. City need one. Man United need one. Arsenal need one. Spurs need like 10 midfielders. for him to have all that kind of demand, and then he goes, I want to play for Arsenal. I want to join Mikel Arteta's project. I want to go there because I've seen the positives about this project. It's purely beautiful. And he has said also, it is also said actually, that he's been in constant contact with the Arsenal camp ever since the story broke up. So listen to this. It is also understood that the England international has been in direct contact with the Arsenal camp as he looks to steal a move away from the Hammers in the summer. So talks with Arsenal going on. His representatives already excited about the move. There is nothing standing in our way between us and Declan Rice. I think the only thing that would be standing in our way would be the ridiculous price. But given the season West Ham are having, if they dare go down, and I'm saying this on air, you can clip this. If they dare go down, they will only be able to get around 50-60 million from Declan's sale. Only 50-60 million. And that actually works in Arsenal's favor. But it's still far away for us to be very excited. It's still far away for us to say it is done. Surely it is far from over. You look at the competition, look at all the other clubs interested in Declan's. Yeah, like it's very far away from over. But if Arsenal win the title, that actually gives us a massive chance. If Arsenal go back to the UEFA Champions League, which we will definitely do, that gives us a massive chance. If Arsenal win any silverware this season, it makes us more attractive. It makes us a better side, and Declan will definitely want to play for us. So what are your thoughts on Declan Rice? When he comes in, does he replace Thomas Partey? And this is where I think his signing is very, very crucial and important, because he's one of those players that can come in, take their time to adjust to the system. Like he could take half a season or a whole season. By the time next season ends, Thomas Partey will be 30. As an African, he will definitely be 35, right? I'm not taking a dig at Africans. I'm an African as well. But you understand the point. So then Declan can take over from him. This would be a very genius move if we do it, because Arsenal had the possibility and they had the option to sign Danilo in January. And you remember when I was fuming with all the fallout of what happened in January, and I said, how have Arsenal failed to get Danilo, a guy who could be, at this club for 10 years? If the plan is to sign Declan Rice, I think I was wrong. I think this is the better deal. So talk to me in the comment box below. Is he better than Thomas Partey? Does he start over Partey in the midfield? Does he start over Xhaka if Mikel decided to play him alongside Thomas Partey? Or do you think he's just a good guy? If he comes in, would have a good season, would have a good player, and that's the end of it. And of course, do you think he has the ability to hit the world-class levels? Like, see him on the Balogun podium. Come on, he's English. If he wins I don't know if England are going to win anything with Southgate, but if they win anything, and he wins the UEFA Champions League, and he wins the Premier League with Arsenal, he could be on the Ballon d'Or podium. I mean, Rashford is already in the conversation for the Ballon d'Or podium because he scored against, Burnley and Leeds United. So that is what it means to be English, all right? Now, the next story I want us to talk about on the podcast is Emile Smith Rowe and the new position potentially he will be taking up in Mikel Arteta's in Mikel Arteta's team. So this is what is coming out, and I think this is very, very it's coming out at a very, very wrong time. So what I've seen and what I've heard is that Mikel Arteta's plan is to play Emile Smith Rowe this season as part of the front three. That is either left wing or as a centre forward. But the long-term plan could involve Emile Smith Rowe playing as a number 8 next to Martin Odegaard in that midfield. And the player is actually excited about the prospect. What are you excited about? What are you excited about? Right? So, right, let's look at this. Emile Smith Rowe's best position last campaign, where he recorded double figures in terms of scoring goals, was on the left wing. Did very, very, very well there. Kept Gabriel Martinelli out of the starting 11, and it was beautiful. But all those months that he's actually been out, it's been really, really very tough at Arsenal. Martinelli doing very well. Trossard coming in and hitting the ground running as well. And do not forget, Gabriel Jesus is an option for left wing as well. Reiss Nelson as well. You could play him at right wing. There's no problem there. But his best position, Reiss Nelson, is left wing. Actually, it's a more natural option at left wing than many of the players that we want to play there, right? You look at Reiss Nelson, he's definitely a left winger. So with all the competition there, to be honest, I think Emile Smith Rowe will struggle to get back into the starting 11. He will really, really struggle. I think Martinelli is having the season of his life, and next season could be even better. With Gabriel Jesus potentially playing more games alongside Gabriel Martinelli, Martinelli will have that kind of combination, understanding that he wants Fabio Vieira will be getting into the team more often. The understanding between Vieira, Gabriel Jesus and Martinelli doesn't allow and doesn't permit for Emile Smith Rowe to get into the side. So I agree 100% with Mikel Arteta that we should try him as a number 8. But I totally discussed the feeling and I totally discussed the idea of him playing there because I know he won't excel in that position. Look, he's more of a Jack Grealish kind of guy, isn't he? I've looked at Grealish at Manchester City this season. He's flying, isn't he? He's really, really flying, especially after the World Cup. And the qualities Grealish has are the very, very, similar qualities that Emile Smith Rowe has got. Dribbling, class. Stretching the pitch, class. Isolating players, not beating them 1v1, of course, but, isolating them and then creating space for other players run into, class. The rebounds, class. And then when it comes to picking up those balls in the penalty area and then scoring those goals, absolute class. But he does that very well on the left wing. He doesn't do that coming from midfield. The qualities that you need in that position, Xhaka doesn't have those qualities. Emile Smith, I'm sorry, quality player, but I don't see him play there. I really, really don't. And that's why I'm really crazy about playing Julian Brandt and signing Julian Brandt in that position. We need I need a player who understands the entire basics. I need someone who can read the job description for that position and feel it well without any incompetencies. It's Julian Brandt for me. It's Ike Gundogan. It's Bernardo Silva. It's I think Gabriel Vieira would be a very, very nice shout, but I haven't watched him that much to say Gabriel Vieira. But if you give me a Pedri from Barca, those are the players that play in that position. Is Emile Smith Rowe the same kind of player as Pedri? I don't think he's the same kind of guy. I think Pedri is so all-round, very intelligent. Smith Rowe is all-round, good dribbler, very intelligent, but he's a wide attacker, okay? We've got to agree to that. So these are the options we have with Emile Smith Rowe. Play him as a number 8 to preserve him and waste that role. I disagree. I think we should actually be able to either play him as a right winger to back up Saka. I would be okay with that as a Saka backup. Or one of the other options is you offload Nelson and you offload Trossard. There is no question about that. You offload Nelson, you offload Trossard, and you create space for Emile Smith Rowe. Otherwise, he's one of those players that I'm looking at in the next 2 or 3 years, and he's fallen out of the starting 11, and the team is doing very well, and he's eventually going to say, look, you've given me the shot number 10, thank you so much, but I'm not getting the game time, I'm going to move on. And it will really, really hurt, but I'm making this prediction, Emile Smith Rowe will leave Arsenal in the next 3 years. I'm making this prediction. It could be a wrong one, don't worry. It could be a wrong one, it's just a prediction, but I'm making it. I'm really, really making it because I think Martinelli is coming back and he's not dropping off. I think Trossard is unreal. I think Reiss Nelson, if he stays, it's going to be a big problem for Emile Smith Rowe. Really, really a very, very big problem. But talk to me about Emile Smith Rowe. One thing I don't want to hear in the comment section now is sell him. Like, I don't want to hear any of those, scumbag opinions. Sell him now. No. Not loan him. Do not loan him. Do not sell him. Like, it's off the cards. There are only 2 options we can do with him. 1, play him at right wing. 2, play him as a number 8. Actually, 3, play him as a false 9. And then 4, let him compete with Martinelli, Trossard, and Nelson. And let's see who comes out as victorious. Now, the other parts of the stories that I wanted us to talk about. Florian Balogun, Newcastle are interested. These geezers are interested in every single person that plays well for Arsenal. They want Kieran Tierney, they want Florian Balogun, they want everyone in this team. So Newcastle are willing to bid for Florian Balogun come this summer. His contract, I think, needs to be extended, but we did extend it in 2022 in January. So we should be fine with Florian Balogun. Newcastle want to bid. I don't know what Mikel will do with Florian, but let's wait and see what's going to happen there. Let's really, really wait and see what's going to happen there. And finally, the rest for Mac Allister has opened up. I told you we will have a rest for Mac Allister, okay? Like, I won't be very surprised come the summer if one of the names that are actually trending on my FYP page are Mac Allister. Mac Allister is such a talent. Mac Allister is such a hard-working guy. Mac Allister is such an all-round player that every single team from Madrid to Burnley can use and be successful. Like, he's an all-round player. I don't think he's got the qualities of Bruno Fernandes, of Martin Odegaard, but put him in that team. Actually, the role we are trying to fulfill is Mac Allister's role. But I would still take Julian Brandt in terms of a better deal over Mac Allister. So Man United, Arsenal, and Manchester City have all discussed about the name Mac Allister internally. After the World Cup, they've been impressed, but of course he was on a good run before the World Cup. He's now on a very, very good run after the World Cup. Is he a player I would take at Arsenal? You know my answer, don't you? 100%. 156% yes. I'll take him at Arsenal. The problem I have with Mac Allister is when a club like Man City wants you, you're not going to go below 60 million. When a club like Man United wants you as well, you're not going to go below 60 million. And I think this is really genius from Brighton. What they've done is let's increase the contract and prolong the contract of Moises Caicedo. He stays in the summer and we sell Alexis Mac Allister. Brilliant business from Brighton. Brilliant. But if you think this channel is brilliant, give it a like and also subscribe as well. And you can find more of the interesting conversations on the 90 More podcast. Catch me on the 90 More podcast tonight after Chelsea play Borussia Dortmund. I see you right in that one.